Hey, it's your man StyleCon coming at you today with another video, finishing this up. Sorry, no watch on today. Doing a little bit of work. Don't want to mess anything up. Now, let's get into today's topic of discussion. And that will be Rolex will take a fall. You say, StyleCon, what are you talking about? Nobody stays king forever. It's the way the game is played. I mean, right now, obviously, Rolex doesn't have the best quality watches, but they make the most mechanical watches in the world. And at one time, Ford was the biggest car manufacturer in the world. Toyota took over. And to be quite honest, even before Rolex, you know what the king of watches were? Longines. When I was growing up, people wanted Longines more than they wanted Rolexes. That was considered the pinnacle. Now, I'm going to give you some reasons why I believe the king will fall. First, I obviously have my little notes here. Too many watches. Just way too many. Eventually, you will flood the market. That's just the way it is. You overproduce too many things, it will eventually affect the market. So those million watches a year plus, and then they got the new factory and they're talking about more output. Eventually, that's going to come back to bite you in the ass. Reduce the numbers. Don't increase the numbers if you want to stay king. By that, flooding the market, then everybody that wants one will have one. So why do I need to buy more? I can get what I want. Got to be careful with increasing that output. Then the erosion of the middle class. The one percenters will not keep Rolex on top of the watch market. One percenters, I see the Mark Wahlbergs of the world. I see the Kevin Harts of the world, and they have a lot of Rolexes. But that's not what keeps them in business. Gucci, Louis Vuitton, all these other companies. Now, I've talked about this in a previous video. They are supported by the middle class. A lot of middle class people buy Rolexes. But the middle class is eroding. Everything's getting more expensive through cars, housing. What do you think the middle class is going to do? I want that, say $15,000 sub. But the housing market, the average house here in America at one time was $250,000. Now it's $400,000. What do you think? Would I rather have a watch or a house? Car prices have gone through the roof. I need a car to get back and forth to work. What's more important? So the middle class eroding doesn't help the brand because the majority of people that buy Rolexes would be considered middle class. Pricing people out the market. They keep increasing their prices. You can't keep doing that when you want to stay king. Because guess what? The middle class people that's having that bite taken out of them through their housing, through their car, through insurance. Actually, this just happened to me. My insurance went up $200 a year. I've never been in an accident ever, and I'm getting to be an old man, and needless to say, it hasn't benefited me. So as these things take bites out of the middle class through food, because food prices, at least in the U.S., have gone through the roof, I got to cut back. I'm going to cut back on that luxury purchase. So be careful with these price increases, Rolex, because you're going to price yourself out of the market because the people that buy your watches, the majority of them, are middle class. And industrialized nations. And, this is a big thing. A lot of industrialized nations, people aren't having as many children. Before you had the boom and, the baby boomers and people were having 5, 6 kids. Nowadays it's 1 or 2. So you're not going to have the market for these watches in the future because people just aren't doing it. And of course, millennials aren't into watches like that. So with any of this stuff, if you want to stay king, there are a couple things you can do. Cut down the numbers. Quit with the price increases. But if you want to keep going the route you are going on, you will eventually, one day, be dethroned. And on that note, thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch my video. If you have any questions or comments, as usual, leave them down below, and I will check you out in the next video.